Hello everybody. I'm going to try and explain to you how the universe, science, and God all intertwine. Of course, that's God's choosing. But a lot of us don't see it like that. And it's very easy to explain if you just look at it from a point of view of, is he real? Of course God's real, of course. And now try to give you some examples. Let's start by the very first verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created light. God said light was good, and he rested. That's not verbatim, but that's how it goes. So what did God create? He created the universe. He created light. Created the universe. What else did God create? Well, he created space, time, and matter. All the tools that man needs to calculate his perfection. And like I told someone who comments a lot, that's, trying to debunk God with science is just, never going to happen because he's always got one up on man. So he created space, time, and matter. Well, matter, God gave matter so man can calculate, everything in the universe. From atoms to stars. From plants to, rocks. Whatever. Everything he put on there, he gave a calculation for. All right. Rocks, chemistry, all kinds of, different ways we can mathematically make things clear. Well, he created space. Well, what's in space? Well, atoms and stars and light and gravity, all the things man needs to calculate his perfection. What about time? Well, time is uncalculable. We can measure it and we can discern it, but we really can't calculate it. So, again, is God playing a trick on us? No. First of all, time. What is that? He needed time to let the universe create itself. He gave time so things can form to his perfection. He gave us time, so we can, measure, or not sort of measure, but, gauge the age of things. We can calculate the age of things by carbon dating and woo. We can. But the most important thing about time is, what did God create in time? Well, he created life. Everything in the universe has a life. It gives its birth, its life, and death. Everything from stars to atoms, everything has a lifespan. And that is because only God can live forever. You got to understand that. Only God can live forever. And then he'll, again, work on his perfection. Well, what else did God do in that first day? Because you're like, wow, that is kind of like logical. He did do all that. Well, what else did God do? Well, God created, continuously in motion universe. Nothing in the universe stands still. Nothing. From atoms to stars, from whatever. You think the soil just sits there? No, it doesn't. It does move, and it does, have atoms within it that move. So everything in the universe is in motion. So that's one thing. Second thing, what did God create? Well, he created perfect mathematical equations for everything. You can calculate the speed of light. You can calculate, the weight, everything. Except one thing. There's one thing in the universe that does not have a calculation to it, and that is pi. God made the only uncalculable thing a circle. That's just his amazement. That's just, his amazement. Some people say, oh, quantum mechanics, is on, no, quantum mechanics is actually a theory. It's just like string theory. It's a theory, that can't be proved by a mathematical equation. Maybe someday we will, but probably, I don't know. You're talking thousands of years if we survive what you're looking at. The photographs that are just, awe-inspiring, colorful, majestic, eerie. I mean, if you look closely, you will see all kinds of shapes and figures and mythical creatures and faces and, numbers. And that's because, that's his infinite wisdom. Okay? You just have to look at it. Because an old Greek philosopher said, your failure to see an object is your failure to see the object. There's other ways we can detect these objects. And God gave us ways to do that. Next, let's talk about numbers in the Bible. 7 is repeated throughout the Bible. 7 is it's like 500 times. I'm not even sure. I heard it somewhere. 5, it's a lot. But more importantly, in the beginning, if you look at it, each verse or line is 7 words. And the total of the first verse is 7, lines, 7 sentences. And of course, that 7 times 7 is 49. And 49 correlates with what? If anybody knows this. The Shemitah. Right. Every 7 years we're supposed to, pay off our debts and return goods and all that other stuff. Well, at the 49th year, we're supposed to let the earth rest. And that we haven't been doing that. And then God continuously to wipe his hands clean of the unholiness that goes on. What else is about the Bible that's in the beginning? Well, the framers used it of the U.S. Constitution. There's over 26 Bible verses written within the U.S. Constitution, making it a divine document. See, that is something that we don't understand that the framers did. They made it a divine document. And that is because there is always a higher law, a natural law, God's law, whatever. But that's the truth. Now we'll move on through the Bible to Noah's flood. This is a good one. Everybody knows Noah's flood. He flooded the earth, then the waters receded, and everybody got off the boat. Well, can science prove this? Of course. Of course science can prove this. How did that happen? Well, probably when the last time this system came through, probably rose the water, melted the ice caps, and flooded the earth. Of course, God did tell Noah to get on the boat. And they had to wait until the next month of the feast. That's why it's an extra month. Now, how long was Noah on the water before the waters receded and the tribulations ended? 150 days. Also, 150 days is marked in Revelations, from the first breaking of the seal to the last, or however it goes. But 150 days. Well, what else? This system passing through will cross the orbital plane of Earth for 150 days. 5 months. Now, you just don't get that kind of accuracy without knowing, what has to go into it. Because only God can create that kind of perfection. You see what I'm saying? What else? Oh, yeah. How did the waters recede, people say? Well, trillions of water was added, flooding the earth. Well, what could make it disappear? a meteor. The meteor that hit the Yukon Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. Science likes to tell you that, oh, it took millions of years. No, it didn't. It happened in a matter of seconds. It flash boiled trillions of gallons of water, setting it into the atmosphere and then freezing on the polar caps. Well, how else do we know that this meteor hit? Well, if you look where the meteor hit, it sent a shock wave through the earth to the other side, forming the Himalayas. If you ever take a good look at the Himalayas, it is orbish in shape, round, circular pattern. Here's another scientific fact. People in Asia actually weigh more. If you go to Asia, you'll weigh a little bit more. Why? It's because the ground is denser. I mean, that's just simple science. Again, science can prove it. So that's what happened. So now you know that the parable is something that is beginning to understand how science, God, and the world works. Well, let's go to another parable. We all know about Moses, and his, wrath upon Pharaoh, we do. But my theory is, in reading the Bible in this verse multiple times, my theory is that the Egyptians knew this thing was coming, and they built pyramids, for it. Well, how do we kind of know that they did it for this reason? Well, we know this system comes from the Orion Belt. And we know that the Egyptians built their pyramids in the lines of Orion Belt. Not only that, they gave us directions. They gave us patterns in the way the pyramids are built. And they also gave us clues to the perfection of how they built it. People say them people back in the day, they were stone cutters and all this. No, they were highly advanced people. They built roads. They had languages, currency, big cities. Wiped them clean. From the Samaritans to the Babylonians to the Egyptians to the Mayans. That's why the calendar ended at 2012. It's not that difficult. You're looking at the reason why. Those pictures don't lie. I didn't doctor them. Had a hell of a time uploading them. But, that's how it works. There was things preventing me from, trying to just get this final thought out. Well, they say Moses. Okay, so Moses, and these things could have rained, fire and ice and brung locust. We know this. But people say, well, how did the Red Sea? And people always wonder, some mystical wind came. Maybe. Or the earth rose in between the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites and the sons of Abraham to cross. While the raging sea was parted on both sides, but the raging sea was also wearing away at this new formed crossing. When Pharaoh's men tried to go and get him, the water eroded the thing back down. That's how the Red Sea became whole again. And if you do look at the topography of, the undersea floor of the Red Sea, you will see that it has that kind of ridge. And it's just like, okay, science again proves it, but we don't understand it. We don't put two and two together. We're blinded. We have the veil on. The veil is mentioned throughout the Bible about how God has the veil over your eyes. And when judgment comes and it's too late to repent and save yourself, God rips the veil from the top down. What does that mean? Well, it means you're beneath God and you have no time to repent. So you're not going to be saved. It always says in the Bible, ye who endures to the end shall be saved. And that is the truth. So those are the first two, three, excerpts from the book of the Bible. And here's another neat little tidbit. Does anybody know what the Bible stands for? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. The acronym for Bible. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Words to live by, man. I'll get back at you with another vid. But this was mainly for like this commenter